they had us all watching, and then, like, the baby giraffe didn't come for like 6 months after we started watching. It's ridiculous, like how long. It was over the COVID thing. We were watching the giraffe. Anyway, that's the story. Okay.
As big as an eagle?
Bigger than an eagle. Hey, I want the video. Here we go. Why is it not playing? How much money would everybody get if I gave, if I split up that mole? $1,000? Oh God, Alex is gonna do the math. They said 6 billion? 6 million? 6 billion.
6? So that's... What's 23 minus 9? Alright, 23 minus 9. What is that? 23 minus 6 is...
Oh, high level math happening here.
So, figure that's 14, so 10 to the 14 money?
Mm-hmm. 10 to the 14 money?
10 to the 12.
How many times?
That's way too much. Time to take out the calculator.
Time to take out the calculator. A lot. What do you think? How big would it be?
Small.
It's like one drop of water.
I'm gonna say like... I'm gonna say like that.
It depends, and it depends on the size of the atom, right? The bigger the atoms, the bigger the pile is going to be. But for the most part, a mole is not very big if we're talking about a mole of very, very small things. I sing this sometimes. When I can't sleep at night, I go, oh, a mole is a unit, or have you heard?
Can we listen to that Anthony Suarez one?
No, not right now. Okay, he doesn't talk about moles in that. So, Avogadro's number is just an amount of something. So let's get back to the coefficients and the subscripts. If I have one H2O, how many atoms do I have? A mole. One group of H2Os, so I actually have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd H2Os. That's a lot. So if I write 1 here, that 1 stands for a group of H2Os. One group of H2Os. This 1 also can be interchangeable. Instead of saying the word group, we could say mole. So we have 1 mole of H2O. If we have 1 mole of H2O, this is how many H2Os I actually have. But we don't want to use this number because it's ugly. This is an ugly number. So all I'm going to say is 1 H2O. Does it mean I have literally 1 H2O? No, I have a group of H2Os. Okay? So that 1, that coefficient, is talking about how many H2Os I actually have. In this case, I have 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of them. I see the eyes glazing over. Caleb, you good? You learning something there on that phone? Okay. Put it away. So, if I write 5 H2Os, I would read that as 5 moles of H2O. Think of a mole like a dozen, right? If I have 5 dozen elephants, how many elephants am I bringing? You don't need a calculator for that. 60 elephants. If I have 5 moles of elephants, I have 5 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd elephants. This mole is the same as a dozen. Capiche? Do you understand? I'm not going to ask you the number of individual H2Os. I'm going to talk about them in moles. So I have 5 H2Os is really saying I have 5 groups of H2O. Okay? Now, if I have 5 groups of H2O, that means I have something that looks like this. I don't know why I picked such a big number like 5, but I did. I have 5 H2Os. How many H's do I have? 10 groups of H's, right? I have 10 H's. And how many O's do I have? 5 O's. Do I really have 10 little atoms of H? No, I have 10 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd individual H's, but I'm not asking that. I'm asking you how many groups of H's I have. How many moles of H's I have. So let's do this. Let's say I have lithium sulfate. How many moles of lithium sulfate do I have? 1. I have 1 mole of lithium sulfate because there's 1 in front of this. Okay? How many moles of lithium do I have? 2. How many moles of sulfur do I have? No, not 4. 1. How many moles of oxygen do I have? 4. Okay? If I put a 3 in front of here, now how many moles, remember the word moles, just groups, so how many moles of lithium do I have? 6. How many moles of sulfur do I have? 3. How many moles of oxygen do I have? 12. Got it? Okay. Now, here's the hard part. They don't always give it to you like this. They might say 4 moles of calcium carbonate. Okay, so if I have 4 moles of calcium carbonate, how many moles of calcium do I have? Well, we have to write this as a formula. And that brings us back to what we were doing before. How do you write calcium carbonate as a formula? Ca, CO3. What do I have to do to those Ca and the CO3? Put the charges in. That's not a handout. Do you know where I got those numbers from? Okay. The calcium is a +2. That's a 2 is going to come down here. That -2 is going to go down here. They're going to cancel each other out. We're going to end up with CaCO3. I have 4 of them. How many calciums do I have? How many moles of calcium do I have? 4 calciums. How many carbons do I have? 4. Okay, this number, just like in math, is going to distribute. How many oxygens do I have? 12. You understand how that works? Questions, comments, complaints, concerns? Ammonium phosphate. I want to know what the formula is and how many of each atom you have in there. How many moles of each atom you have in there. Okay, try it. Find ammonium. Find phosphate. You have what?
I don't think it's right.
Well, what's ammonium? Who cares if it's right or wrong? Give it a shot.
NH4.
Good. So at least you got that part. NH4. What's phosphate? PO4. You got that part. Okay? So here's the cation, the NH4. Here's the anion, the PO4. Let's put our charges in. +1 for the NH4, right? Phosphate is going to be -3. We're going to cross them down. So we're going to put a 3 out here and a 1 down here. Okay. I'm going to get rid of that 1 because we don't usually write the 1s in. All right. Now, rewrite it. NH4, 3, PO4. Ammonium phosphate. How many nitrogens do you have? How many? 3. N3, okay? How many hydrogens do you have? 12. How many phosphorus do you have? 1. How many oxygen do you have? 4. Done. It's not hard. Just, you know what the hardest part is? What Eva did. This is the hardest part. Writing the correct formula. If you can't write that formula, you can't answer this. Okay? We'll do one more, and then I'm going to give you a page to practice. Let's do aluminum hydroxide. Okay, we got a formula. Aluminum. Plus what? 3. Hydroxide is OH with a -1. Don't forget to cross your subscripts down. See, this gets a 3 over here. So our formula looks like this. ALOH3. Oh, fiddle fudge. Okay. Tomorrow's another day. Remind me, we're doing aluminum hydroxide. Yay! Moles are